Yeah. It's your boy Nick Frazier, one half of the Water Cooler Talk podcast. We back tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Friday, and I'm about to get my groove on. Yeah. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the Water Cooler, man. Y'all know what we talking about tonight, man. We trying to talk about how we're going to sustain this long-term success for Auburn that we potentially could see this year. I mean, it's a lot of things that we potentially see, man. We can talk about this long-term success, see how we're going to make this thing happen, baby. And let's make it happen, man. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what comes up next. Water Cooler Talk Podcast. Let's go. Bring us
Boys and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
You are now tuned in to Water Cooler Talks, covering everything you love about college football, especially everything going down in the SEC Conference. So, if you love college football, you need to lock in. And now, your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, what up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your guys.
Yeah.
We around the Water Cooler tonight, man. It's Friday, and I'm about to get my butt. No, I'm not. I'm not about to do nothing. The way my bank account is set up, I got to check in the savings, and I ain't got nothing either one, bro. It's messed up, bro. Hey, it is what it is, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here. My name is Nick Frazier, one half of the Water Cooler Talk Podcast. The other man, you can't see him, but you can hear him. Tell him who you are, boss. Man,
Marcus Fitzpatrick, let's go. Let's get it.
Sir, man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here, as always, around the Water Cooler, man. We thank y'all again. Before we get into it, man, follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk, man. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. And, of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube. So, you know, when we post more videos and go live, we just hit 650 subscribers. So shout out to that. We appreciate that. Thank y'all so much for helping.
Y'all haven't checked out that interview, man. Please go back and check that interview out.
Yeah, man. We just hit 650 subscribers, man. So we appreciate y'all so much for making that happen. And to Marcus's point, yeah, man. Shout out to Trey Collins. My boy Trey came on yesterday. Upcoming junior at Ridgeland High School in Mississippi. He was on yesterday. Big things coming, bro. He's transferring from Hazelhurst. So Hazelhurst, I believe he said, was a 3A school, and now he's transferring to Ridgeland High School, which is a 6A school. So now he's about to play against some of the same competition that's rated just as high as he is. And I'm telling you, you look at his tape. I'm telling you, it is he gonna be a problem, bro. He gonna be legit. He legit.
Paperwork.
He legit. So make sure y'all go check out that interview we did with Trey Collins, up and coming junior, 3-star safety. He gonna be a 4-star very soon. Believe that he'll be a 4-star very soon. Don't trust me. He just started playing for real 2 years ago.
Wow,
that's the crazy part. He just started taking it seriously and started playing for real 2 years ago. And after his sophomore year, he started getting some looks, and he got rated, and now about to go to the next level, man. So shout out to Trey, man. Trey,
that's impressive.
Yeah. That's really impressive, man. He gonna be back on soon, and we're gonna chop it up with him as always, man. So shout out to him, man. Let's get to the chat, man, before we get into this conversation tonight, man. The Huggy Beard himself, the legend of Sweet Sugarbat Williams, the Rooster Mac is in the building. He's saying, what's up? He's saying War Eagle to you, man. C Hall is in the chat. What up, C Hall?
What's up on this Friday?
King Richard, His Royal Highness, has entered the chat saying War Eagle. What up, man? What's going on, King? I hope all is good with you, my guy. I hope everything is going well with you, man. Huggy said, man, Huggy in a good mood tonight. I went out macking last for the first time in many moons. The Rooster still. Shout out to the Huggy Beard, man. Shout out to my guy Huggy, bro. It is what it is, man. He's saying, what's up, Nick? What's up, Huggy?
What's up, Hug?
What's up, Marcus? He's saying, what's up to you, man? King Richard said, man, long-term greatness is attainable at Auburn. If, and he put if in capital letters, if you are open-minded for change, no matter how small or large change is. Nick Saban did a lot of changes as Bama's head coach. We about to get into this conversation, man. So we appreciate that one right there, King Richard, man. He said, if we are open-minded to change. I'm always open-minded to change. That's the question. We got some questions that we want to kind of tackle tonight and kind of see exactly what is the long-term greatness, the long-term success. Is it attainable? We're gonna get into that tonight, man. James Barnett in the chat. What up, James? How you feeling? He said, water cooler up. What up, fellas and fans? What's up, James? How you feeling, my guy? Hope you feeling good, man. Hope you feeling good. Hope you feeling great as always, man. Marcus, we ain't gonna keep everybody long tonight. I know it's a Friday night. I got some reading I got to do actually tonight. For this weekend, I got a 10-page paper due by Sunday night, so I need to get on that. We gonna hit it and quit it. We're gonna hit it and quit it. That's what we gonna do, man. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it, Marcus, man. Let's knock this out. Let's talk about this because we gotta get into it because we are all looking for what we can do to make Auburn one of the premier locations and the premier programs in college football, Marcus. So let's ask the question, man. So
get to it. Let's get to it.
You saw the thumbnail for the show that we put up tonight. You saw the thumbnail. It says Auburn's blueprint for greatness. What must go right long term for Auburn? And you see the step in, you see the coach taking the steps that needs to get to the next level. You see him on recruiting. Then you see the next one, culture change. You see QB development. And then you see at the end the championship trophy being held up by the guy that we all particularly can see as the quarterback there. So just a general overview before we get into some more detailed things. Marcus, what are you thinking? Auburn's blueprint for greatness. And what must go right long term? What are your thoughts on that? Just a general overview, and then we'll dive deep in a little bit deeper.
Well, general overview is like you said, one of the steps: recruiting, culture change. Also, in my mind, I would like to add strategy and being able to work with the players that you get and develop not just quarterback development, but talent development overall.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be seasons. It's gonna be seasons where people get more blue chips than you. Then you're gonna have to really, strategize and coach your way through seasons. That's what builds legacy. That's what builds dynasties, I feel. So that would be general, just my stance on that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said there. Especially the notion of talent management and talent development. There's one thing to acquire such talent. There's a difference to be able to get that talent to do what you wanted to do and live out its full potential. Because I'll always say that the best recruiting tool, especially in college football, the best recruiting tool is I won't even say it's national champions, because I won't even say it's national championships or SEC championships. I think that has something to do with it. Don't get it wrong. And I think winning had something to do with it as well. But if that was everything, then everybody would be trying to go to the same amount of schools. And there are guys that are looking at that do want to go to certain schools that only look at certain schools because they feel that way. But what is it about those schools that make them so wanted and sought after? I say this because I look at it from a fact. The biggest tool in recruitment is how you develop and send that talent that you get at 17, 18 years old. And by the time they're 21 years old, 22, what do they look like? And normally the metric is where are your guys that are being where are your guys drafted is really the metric. So basically, are you putting in the draft every year? Can we sit here and be like, all right, I know for a fact that
If I go to
this
this school, I'm going to the
yes,
league.
I'm going to the league. I know I have a good chance. Like if I'm a cornerback, or if I'm a quarterback, or if I'm a running back, or if I'm an offensive lineman, a defensive player, whatever, I know that historically this school has put this position group and these guys overall in the NFL. Because let's just be real, that is really the goal for a lot of guys that play college football. That's their goal. Their goal is to get to the next level and get to the NFL. And if they feel as if they can go to a program that develops them, that allows them to put their talent in front of a national audience, in front of scouts, in front of the people that matter at the next level, that's where they want to go. Now, I'm sitting saying that's not the end all be all, but I still believe that when you walk into a building, when you walk into an athletic facility, and you look on the board and you look on the wall, and you can see guys that have been drafted within the past 2 to 5 years, and the number of guys that have went to the league, and that is your goal, that tells you something about that particular program and what it can do to help you. So when you say talent management and talent, and not just acquiring your talent, but being able to cultivate the talent, being able to nurture that talent, being able to steward it in the right direction to where it potentially can go, which is the NFL. So I believe if Auburn is able to do that, it would. And then and if you're doing that, guess what? More than likely, you're winning games.
Winning games, yep.
You know what I'm saying? More than likely, you're winning games. You look at what South Carolina did this past year in the draft. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they whole front seven went in the NFL draft, and you see they won 9 games this past year, and in the games that they play, and they had a chance to win 10 or 11. If
Georgia just won a Super Bowl for Philly. You know
exactly, you see what I'm saying? And you see what Georgia
yeah.
has done. Georgia came in and they acquired talent, but you saw what Coach Kirby Smart was able to do with that talent. He was able to help that talent. He was able to nurture it. He was able to cultivate it. He was able to steward it in the right direction. And while they were doing that, they were winning. And then while you're winning, that talent, those teams in the NFL are like, hey, man, we can get that over here on our squad. We can win. You saw what, like you said, what Howard Roseman did with the Philadelphia Eagles. He just basically went and got Georgia's front four, basically, and then when it got Nakobe Dean a couple of years back to come to be the linebacker. So I mean, I will always say that is probably the biggest recruiting tool for any school moving forward when it comes to recruiting. So in terms of Auburn, we have to get back to being able and seeing guys drafted in those early rounds, the first, the second, first rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're doing that, then guess what? You are winning games. You're in that 9, 10, 11 win range. Consistently. Exactly. That's where you are. You're in that 9, 10, 11 wins range consistently. So talent acquisition, not just acquiring the talent, but being able to manage it, cultivate it, steward it in the direction of where it needs to go. Anything else you want to put on that before we move forward?
No, we cover my overall view.
All right, man. Let's dig down deep into this, man. So you're looking at long-term success for Auburn football.
All right.
Recruiting. Let's talk about recruiting a little bit. I think we can all sit here and say that we feel as if, from what we just talked about with acquiring the talent, we can sit here and say that recruiting for at least the past 2 seasons has been something that we haven't seen at Auburn in a while. I think that is a fair statement to make about Auburn football. That the recruiting that we've seen, being top 10 classes the past 2 seasons, potentially having another top 10 class this year, if Auburn is able to produce on the field with what they've done the past 2 recruiting classes now, because you're gonna have a lot of those young guys playing this upcoming season as well. So, being able to produce on the field, you have the potential Auburn to bring in another top 10, maybe even top 5 class, depending on how the season goes. Is there anything else that you can think of that Auburn needs to do in recruiting specifically in order to look at the recruiting as one of those pillars that we see in the thumbnail from the for the show tonight?
Like you said, like you were just saying, it's on the field at this point. Whatever Hugh Freeze is pitching in these parents' living room is butter, baby. It's smooth. It's working. It's time for him to actually show the players, all right, this is a culture where you're gonna come, we're gonna pay you, we're gonna pay you good, you're gonna play good, you're gonna look good. We just got the Nike. We about to, about to look good. So you about to come out here, you about to win. So he got to actually show players that he can sustain that, and like you said, for that turnaround to happen, I think we spoke on this previously. For that turnaround to happen, these wins have to be impressive. Now, I ain't gonna say dominant, but I say impressive.
Okay.
You said that, and you said that once before, and you have to give these kids something to look forward to when they're coming to your school.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Yeah, I agree with you there, man. I mean, you basically said everything I was gonna say. I mean, I don't think there's anything else I can say about that, on the recruiting aspect. Because you mentioned culture change, which is the next thing that we was gonna talk about here. When you get to the recruiting, depending on the type of recruits that you're getting, and from what we're hearing and seeing about Auburn and what's going on in recruiting, it seems like there is a shift in culture in what used to be. It seems as if the players are now focused on trying to get Auburn, not trying, but getting Auburn back to what we remember seeing them in the early 2000s, the late 1990s, and things and stuff like that. Is what this group of young new Auburn athletes, football players is trying to do, and it seems like they're trying to do that overall in the athletic department. That's what it seems like. When you go from even basketball, with baseball, what particularly with what Coach Vickers is doing with women's basketball. And then you look at all the other non-revenue generating sports. You look at golf, you look at equestrian. You see, it's there, but your main sport, your main cash cow, football, is still waiting to get to that point. And that's what we trying to get to, and things and stuff like that. So now, if you're able to have football take that next step and get into that consistent area of producing, that consistent area of being able to recruit well, and then now that those recruits and the culture that's being set by these guys now being passed down to the next guys and the next guys and the next guys. I think you are basically looking at what we can consider to be a change in what potentially could be. I think we did a show on this, something a dynasty potentially. And what comes with a dynasty? National championships. What comes with another dynasty? SEC championships. What comes with another dynasty? Draft picks, high draft picks. So you have a chance. We have a very good chance. We have a very good chance of potentially seeing what could happen and what may happen next with Auburn football in the long run. I'm looking at some of these comments that are coming in, man. I want to get y'all before we get too far down the road. James Barnett said, man, 10-page paper, bro. You bringing back nightmares. Yeah, man, I got one due Sunday. Yeah, it's due Sunday, bro. I got that one due Sunday. Yeah, these master's degrees are crazy. I got that one due Sunday, and then 2 weeks from now, I have another 10 to 12 page paper due. I think by July 4th. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. I got some reading I got to do as soon as we get off here. That's what it is, man. James Barnett saying, "What's up, the Huggy man?" Golden Broom Podcast. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe over to the Golden Broom Podcast as well, man. What up, my good friends? The first thing will be to beat Vanderbilt consistently and not be a 22-22-2 tie with them. LOL. Shout out to Vandy Chris, man. Shout out to Vandy Chris over in the Golden Broom Podcast. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe over there to him, man. He said talent development at Auburn has been missing since Tommy Tuberville's era. Woo!
I can't disagree with that.
That's a good one right there.
And I can't disagree with that.
Okay, I mean, yeah, he got a shout out to King. King Richard got a good
point. I can't
disagree
with that. That's a great point. That's a great. I mean,
because let's think. When you look back at Tommy Tuberville's era as head coach of Auburn football, you look at I name names: Ronnie Brown, Carnell Williams. You look at
Jason
what they did.
Campbell. Look at how he transformed Jason Campbell from his freshman year to his senior. Like that's like I can't argue that. I can't argue that, King. That's a great one.
Then you look on the defensive side
of the ball. Carlos Rogers and
Carlos Rogers. You look at Dontarius Thomas. Thomas. You look at Junior Rosegreen. You look at Jay Ricks. You look at Stanley McClover. You look at Trey Smith.
Trey Smith was big because you remember Trey Smith used to fumble all the time.
Yeah,
when he first got there, and then by the time he left, he was the leading back.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, you look at all these guys. Quinn Groves. You look at all these guys, man. Guys that are people in Groves.
I can't argue with you, King.
You look at that. You look at all the talent that was there, and all that talent that was
because talent stayed 4 years back then.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. James Barnett said we have to start beating our rivals, especially at home, on a consistent basis. That is true too. It used to be the mystique of Jordan Hare Stadium has to come back as well. You know, I kind of feel as if that mystique has kind of went away because I remember there was a time period where Auburn went like 18-0, and my numbers may be off, but I know Auburn went undefeated at home for like 3 seasons in a row or something like that. Like every time they played at home, they won, and it was something to behold. That mystique has to come back. Which has been 18 seasons since the Tuberville era, which I believe was 2007 was his last season there. Vandy Chris, he said at King Richard, which is probably true, but he didn't skirt the rules to do what he did at Auburn. If you want to develop, you have to do it the right way, don't you? I don't know about that. We'll see though. What if your goal is to get an education and your plan is for 40 years and not for 48? That's a good Vandy Chris, that's a good point. That is a good point. I can't argue that point. You know what I'm saying? Education is still always the key. And that is part of the long-term greatness of Auburn as well. Because because normally in these contracts for these coaches, if these coaches have, if the team has a certain GPA or if the team has a certain graduation rate, they get compensated for it some type of way. So that is part of the plan too as well. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But when we look at, and let's just be real, when we look at college football now is literally like what AA and AAA baseball is to the MLB. It's literally a feeder system to the majors and to the professional leagues. That's really what that's really the way that it's being built up right now. So when we look at it from that perspective, and I feel as if when we talk about this, the more we talk about sports so much more now in a professional, college sports. We talk about college sports so much in a professional tone that we forget that these guys really are student athletes first. That they're supposed to be student athletes. Is what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be students first. That they're there to get an education. But when you live in an economy and in a society that's money driven, and majority of these guys and majority of revenues are on the backs of sports, it kind of is pushed to the forefront before the educational part, which if depends on who you ask. People may feel like that is so, and some people may feel like that's not how it should be. But we just live in a society now to where money rules everything. And in the words of my frat brother Roland Martin says, if you're not having a money conversation, you're not having an American conversation. So it is what it is. Unfortunately. Vandy Chris, he said, all I know is he turned a lot of 3-star players into 5-star talents throughout his time at Auburn. Now his problem is not getting players up for small games. Now his problem is not getting players up for small games. I think you're talking about Tommy Tuberville being able to recruit 3-star type talents and have them play, maximize that talent out to 5-star level. And now we have a guy that's getting 4-star talents, and it don't even look. I get what you're saying. Ken Richard said by the time he came to the nitty gritty, he was already behind the 8 ball. Get Musty in his thing saying, "What's up,
Get Musty?
Marcus and Nick? What up, Get Musty? How you feeling?" C Hall saying, "What's up, the Huggy Beard?" He said, "What's good, Richard Vandy Chris?" Get Musty speaking to everybody. He's speaking to C Hall as well. Everybody saying, "What's up to Get Musty? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all feeling in this thing?" And what up, Ant Robinson? What up, Ant? How you feeling, my guy? Hope all is well with you, man. Hope you're doing great, man. Everybody speaking to Ant. He said, "Get Musty just in here getting his knowledge, man. We don't even know we dropping knowledge. We just talking. We talking, bro. That's all we doing. We just talking.
That's all.
Always good, bro. Tim the Tool Man Taylor, what up, man? Man. How you feeling, Tim? You feeling all right tonight, Tim? Hope you feeling good, my guy. I hope all is well, man. Everybody speaking to Tim as well, man. It's going down. King Richard said, man, if Hugh Freeze is going to make a long-term coaching career at Auburn, the page has to turn this year. I really think it needs more than three game winning improvement. Let's stay right here for a minute.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say, let me ask you a question, Nick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Nick, do you think Hugh Freeze is the person to lead a dynasty type?
That's a good question. Shout out to B Sharp. What's up, B Sharp?
Hey, you called me too early, B Sharp. I'll hit you back later. But yeah, do you think Hugh Freeze is that coach that can lead that type of Nick Sabanist culture change at Auburn?
That's a really good question, bro. That's a really good question. And to be honest with you, I don't have to answer that question, bro. I don't have to answer that question yet. But
Can he even go on a Dabo Swinney type run at Auburn?
Dabo. Okay, all right. So let's put this into perspective. All right. So if we talking about Nick Saban, if we talk about a Nick Saban X type run, and we talk,
I think that's gonna be hard. I think the only person who could even at that pace right now currently would be Kirby.
We talking about Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time. And
you know what I'm saying? It ain't nobody.
You're talking about a guy that perennially had Alabama in the college football playoff, or in the national championship game. If we're talking about Dabo, you look at Dabo, right? You saw Dabo build Clemson up, and then he got his quarterback for a good 3-year period, went to a national championship for 3 straight years, if I'm not mistaken. Then kind of had a little lull there, but they were still relevant. Got him another quarterback and went back to a national championship and won another one. And then he's kind of been in that era of being relevant, but it hasn't been to the forefront of Clemson has been.
I'm only talking about the run, nigga. I ain't talking about.
That's part of the run. That's part of the run. You got when you comparing coaches, that's how you compare it. So you comparing it to where you have Nick Saban, who has had players and he has consistently, perennially been in a championship in the conversation. But then you look at Dabo, and then you look at it as him having, okay, I've had players that have helped me now. But when I don't have those guys that can play at that particular level, I'm just on the cusp of being in the conversation. So in that vein of answering that question, I think he's probably more Dabo than he is Nick Saban.
Okay.
That's how I would put it. I think he's probably more Dabo than he would be Nick Saban. If when you ask me the question, that's just how I see it. And things and stuff like that. And I can't answer the question now if I think if Hugh Freeze is the long-term answer. It potentially could be. He potentially could be. But to this point right here, King Rich said, I really think it needs to be more than a 3-game winning improvement, which basically means this season needs to be a 9-10 win season.
Yeah.
It's what you're saying. If Auburn is back to 8 wins this season, I don't know if that quells my fears. I'm not gonna say but my concerns about Auburn football going forward in the future. I think it gives everybody false confidence of what potentially could happen in the future, because now you're sitting here telling me that with the talent that we have this year on this team, and we've been through this numerous of times, you telling me with the talent that we have on the team this year, that this is that, and with the way that this schedule is set up, that Auburn cannot win 9-10 games this year. Is what you're telling me. And to this point, I agree with King. It needs to be more than a 3-game winning improvement.
Yeah, it got to be.
It has to be. It has to be more than a 3-game winning improvement. Because even if
going long term,
if Auburn gets back to 8 games this year with what's on this roster, I don't know if I am as excited about the future, because now when you look at this roster, and after this coming up season of 2025, and you look at 2026, and you look at what potentially that offensive line is going to look like, which is you're probably going to be breaking in a lot of new guys on that offensive line, because potentially that whole offensive line could be gone next year. So you potentially breaking in a whole new offensive line for 2026, and you breaking in potentially, if Jackson Arnold has a great year this year, you could potentially be breaking in a brand new starting quarterback as well. Defensive side of the ball probably is a little bit more set for the future moving forward. But when you look at the offensive side of the ball, when you look at Connor Lew, when you look at Wright, Dylan Wade, when you look at Chaplin, and you look at Mason Murphy, all 5 of those guys could be gone at the end of the season. So I'm sitting here and I'm saying, I don't know how I would feel going into next season. Next season, right now, as it sits, unless they do something in the portal, which the portal is still an option. But if they do something in the portal to get more experienced guys back in the portal, going into the 2026 season, I'm not so hot on what our chances look like for 2026. I'm just not. I mean, you like I said, potentially you're just looking at it, and we far ahead down the road looking at this, but this is just how I look at things. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. But I agree with you there, man. I think it needs to be more than a 3-game winning improvement as well there too, man.
I have a question for you in the chat again, Nick.
Go ahead.
So what record gets Hugh Freeze fired, and what record gets him a contract renewal?
I think 4 or 5 wins again this year. You seriously had that conversation about letting him go. And I think a contract renewal for Hugh Freeze is probably somewhere between around, I think 9 games is you start having a conversation. 10, 11, he definitely gets it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I'm at with it. If he wins 9, if Hugh Freeze wins 8 games this year, I'm not entertaining a contract.
I'm not.
If Hugh Freeze wins 9 games this year, and then you look at potentially what could have happened with a 10th game, there's a conversation. You'd be like, okay, let's see what's up. If the terms meet together and we can say and we can agree, all right, let's see what's up. But if he hit 10 or 11 wins, we definitely in the thick of conversations then about trying to see exactly where we can go, because now you're showing me that with what's on the roster, the level of output is matching the level of what the talent on the roster says.
Okay.
But if this roster hits 8 wins, and I'm looking at the schedule, and then I'm looking at what the roster talent is telling me, and I'm looking at the rest of the teams in the SEC and how this potentially could be the year that you see a school that, besides I think Texas is probably the best school in the SEC. And you look at their schedule, Texas is primed to just win the SEC. That's just what it looks like to me. It's right now. If I had to pick, it's Texas versus whoever number 2 is in the SEC championship game right now. That's how it looks to me. But when besides Texas, you look at it and you see like, okay, what other team? But looking at Auburn's schedule, you looking at it and you like, I'm not too afraid of Georgia. Alabama is always a game, but that game is at Jordan-Hare Stadium, so I feel confident about that. Oklahoma, Brent Venables calling defense again, so maybe there's a chance that we can win that. I don't think we do. There were rumors that Sam Pittman got fired from Arkansas. today. I can't validate that. It was just rumors that went around on message boards. So I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm just gonna say rumors allegedly that happened. So I don't know. Don't take my word for it. I'm just saying what I just saw on some message board somewhere. But I mean, you look at what potentially could happen in these certain situations, in these certain games, and you sitting here telling me the way that this schedule is setting out and with the talent on this roster, it's just hard for me. I'm just hard pressed not to sit here and be like, yo, Auburn, come on, man. This is the year. This is it. Let's make it happen. Sweet Stuff for 256 said he recruits well enough to do it. Too soon to tell because Payne Thorne was that bad. Wow. Your thoughts on that, Marcus? I guess Marcus went away. All right, cool.
No, I'm trying to think about it. I was thinking about it. I was actually looking up the Sam Pittman news, and then you hit me with the question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to verify that.
King Richard said, man, Hugh Freeze might not be the Nick Saban style run, but he can be the one who changes how high school kids and media look at Auburn. Okay, that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement to say. That's a fair statement. I can't disagree. That's a fair statement. James Barnett said, as it relates to Clemson, teams just caught up with his talent faster than that of Bama and Georgia. Thoughts? Woo, man. Wow. Teams caught up with Clemson's talent faster than Georgia or Bama's. Okay. Here's I kind of want to agree with you, James, but then I'm kind of like I'm looking at it because Kelly Bryant was not a bad quarterback. Kelly Bryant was the guy after Deshaun Watson, ladies and gentlemen. But as you all know, Kelly Bryant was benched, and later he transferred out of there to Missouri because they had your boy Trevor Lawrence that they was very high on. But then you look at the receivers that Clemson had as well. Clemson has had a really good core receiver, and they had some really good defensive players as well too. And Clemson's defenses have not really dropped off much at all since they've been at Clemson. The talent caught up. I don't know if it's the talent caught up. I want to say it's probably more of the coaching style. I'm not even saying the coaching style. I'm just gonna say, would you say the stubbornness of Dabo to adapt to college football? Would that be more of the question?
I'm gonna say that's how I feel about it.
Like, because if it's that and you see, I understand where Dabo's coming from, basically saying that this is college football. These guys are here. If you're committing to Clemson, you're committing to Clemson. You're not committing here for a certain particular reason, if that's how he feels. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of what college football is looking like now, I mean, you got to play the game a little bit. You got to play the game, and his unwillingness to do it. But now you're seeing that change. Now is potentially changing. I don't know. The talent call up. I want to say that, but maybe on the offensive side of the ball, maybe not the defensive side of the ball. I think I can rock with you there. I think I can rock with you there.
Well, I would say the Uncle Balua, what's his name? DJ Uncle Balua, the dude who transferred like 18 times. That experiment didn't work out.
DJ Uyunglele?
Ungalega, yeah. That experiment didn't work out. And I think after that, Clemson took a dark turn. And like you said, they still been relevant, but that was the drop off of Clemson for me.
Okay. Ken Richard said, fire him in all caps. If he does not win more than 7 games. That's what he said. Fire him. Well, I tell you, but that's what's up, man. He said, LOL, Natty gets a renewal. That's what, shout out to Tim. I agree. Yeah, if he won that championship, he definitely get a renewal, man. 4 to 5 wins, and they're giving him that Herm Edwards. Yeah, he ain't gonna make it off the field. He ain't gonna make it off the field if you win 4 to 5 games. Gib Musty said Clemson took a step back as well. Yeah, okay. I mean, I feel you. I see where you coming from with that, but when you look at Clemson overall on the defensive side of the ball, they still was pretty decent. They were still above average. They weren't the elite level defense that they were, 2014 to 2018 as 2019 X. They weren't that, but they've been decent. They've been above average. What Clemson was. Let's see, man. Let's keep it moving, man. Quarterback development, and then we're gonna get up out of here, man. How important Is this is this quarterback development going to be for Auburn moving forward for this long-term success at Auburn?
Very important
Okay.
because he's getting big name 5-star freshman quarterbacks.
Okay.
And you're hoping to obtain those guys in this culture at least for 3 years. Because some teams, well, with the NIL, some guys play good, transfer out, go chase the money.
Mm-hmm.
So some other guys who don't want to be a backup go chase they dream somewhere else. So you hope that Hugh Freeze has a drawn out strategy, not not the rumors that we heard that he don't have no plans for the quarterbacks or I don't know no development strategy like we heard in the fallout with the last quarterback that left. I ain't gonna say his name.
My
But
thing, Walker White. I know what you're talking about. My thing is this.
I ain't
My
gonna
thing
say
is
his
this,
name.
bro. My thing is, as a self-proclaimed guy that says you are that you said that you when you came in on the introduction, you said uh we turn programs around and we turn offense around quickly. When you said that, but then we look at it and we see that these past 2 seasons have been abysmal. We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, ran amok, led astray. If that's the case, bro, this year is the telltale sign of what we can expect from Coach Hugh Freeze and his offensive staff moving forward when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. In that particular situation. Because I just go back to what was told to me, bro. You basically told us when Malik Murphy came in, Malik Murphy was ready to pull the trigger. You told him we not ready to go there just yet. The next day, Jackson Arnold comes in. Jackson Arnold does not leave Auburn. He's committed to Auburn. Okay. You come out and say, we feel as if he did not have the right weapons. He was not in the right system at Oklahoma. And we feel like he's the answer for what we need at quarterback here at Auburn. That's what you said. So if he's the answer, and I would give you a pass on the Payne Thorne situation because you got Payne Thorne in the spring portal when you first got here. He wasn't your first choice. Okay, fine. You stuck with him though, but it is what it is. But this guy, you went and got him on the 5th day of the portal being open, and you publicly came out and said that this guy is the guy that can help us win here at Auburn, and he could be successful in our system. If it goes bad this year with this quarterback, I'm losing hope. I'm losing all hope in what Hugh Freeze has been telling us about quarterback play and offensive play of what he can do at Auburn. I'm losing hope because everything that you said in December about this particular guy, Jackson Arnold, if it doesn't work, I'm out. I'm out the game, bro. I'm out the game. I cannot. I will not.
I think you echo the voice of many Auburn fans because, like
cannot.
I said, like I told you, if we lose, I'm gonna be very critical after every post game reaction. To me, it's just the way I see this roster. I feel like the inexperience in the places that we lack should be made up in other places.
Agree.
And I feel like good coaching, not even great coaching, but good coaching can disguise a lot of the patches that we have. Because we don't have a lot of patches to fill in. But good coaches could put guys and put packages together to fill those inexperienced linebackers or interior linemen that we have. But I just feel like if he don't do it, if they can't show it this year, bro, it's Durkin. Come on, let's see what you got. At this point, because we all know who gonna take this job if Hugh Freeze doesn't do good this year.
We'll see what happened though, man. We'll see.
I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked that we go somewhere outside of Durkin.
We'll see what happened with that, bro. Before we get up out of here, man, we appreciate y'all so much, man. But they had some leaks for the college football 26 game came out. I tweeted out Auburn's top offensive and Auburn's top defensive players. It came. I think the game come out July 10th, if I'm not mistaken. College football 2026.
I think it's pre-order tonight. Yeah, I think it come out on the 7th. You get the pre-order.
Oh, the pre-order come out on the 7th. I think the rest of us. I don't even know if I'm gonna get it, bro. I'm too in bro, school. Nah, bro. I think I'm gonna have to wait until I'm done school because I need to focus on that. So ratings for the leaks that came out, ratings for the top offensive players that came out. Connor Lew came in number 3 at 88. Cam Coleman came in number 2 at 89. And Eric Singleton Jr. came in as the top rated offensive player on Auburn's squad at 92.
That's a lot of respect.
It's a lot of respect. He deserved it too, man. And it's a lot of respect. On the defensive side of the ball, Can Lee came in rated number 3 at 85. Rayon Strata came in number 2 rated at 87. And Keldrick Faulk came in rated number 1 on the defensive side of the ball at 93.
Ooh.
I mean, but the thing about it is you got to understand, man, Keldrick Faulk, a lot of people in a lot of circles think Keldrick Faulk is a top 5 pick in next year's draft.
I see.
I think he a top. They strong. They strong on Keldrick Faulk. They think they definitely, if not top 5, he definitely a top 10 pick. They got Keldrick Faulk in the top 10. You got some people saying he potentially be top 3, potentially number 1 overall guy, depending on what this season look like. Because the premium that they have on pass rushers and guys that's rushing the quarterback in the NFL. I mean, you seeing what they're doing with Myles Garrett, who just got 126, 129 million. I think like 190 of that was guaranteed or something like that. No, 126 was guaranteed. I think he got 140 or something like that. And then you look at what they're doing with other guys in the league, like that's a premium position. So if he can come out, if Keldrick Faulk can come out this year and, put up some really nice stats. I think his stats last year was like 44, 45 solos, like 7 sacks last year, a couple of QB hurries. If he can come out and, get somewhere around that 60 tackle mark and get north of 10 sacks, he definitely in that top 5 range of he'll definitely solidify himself being in that top 5 range of guys taken in the 2026 draft, man. So leaks came out of those guys coming in, man. College football 26. I just want to put that out there. It is what it is. Man, we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us, man. I want y'all to pray for me because now I got to go read and get ready for this paper, man. Mark, what you got to say before we get up out of here, my boy?
Man, y'all be safe. Have a great weekend. See y'all back on Monday. And take care.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us here around the water cooler as always, man. We'll be back Monday. We'll be back around the water cooler then, and we'll keep talking this Auburn and SEC talk, man. Getting ready for the season. We are like 70 days away, 71 or 70 days away from Auburn kicking off with Baylor, man. So we appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us, man. Make sure y'all go and follow all of the guys on the YouTube, man. Follow Bubba and the Old Man Auburn Sports Talk on YouTube. Follow the Golden Broom Podcast. Vandy Chris and those guys over there doing great work, man. The Sharpshooter Sports Talk. I still need to change that. Over there, I got B Sharp over there. Follow Dustin over at the Up Tempo Podcast as well on YouTube. DC Wolf over at Auburn Addicts TV. Tight Sports and Alabama Football Megacast. I got Tight, and of course Auburn Tez at It's SE Season over there as well. And before y'all get up out of here, man, follow us on Facebook at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast, man. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk, man. On Twitter, follow us at CoolersPod23. And of course, subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell button here on YouTube, so you know when we post more videos and when we go live. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much for continuing to rock with us here around the water cooler as always, man. He said, great show. We appreciate you, King Richard, man. As always, man. Y'all make the show great. We thank y'all so much for rocking with us. He said 652, brother, moving on up. That's what it is. We moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment. And I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna stop. Shout out, man. Yo, man, we keep helping us, man. We try now. We on the way to 6. We just take these in small increments. Let's get to 660, then 670, then 680, then 690, then 700. Let's just try to make it to the next number, man. So we appreciate y'all so much for helping us get them, man. And make sure you go check out the interview we did yesterday with Trey Collins, 3-star safety out of Mississippi, Ridgeland High School, just transferred to Ridgeland High School, 6A school. That 3-star he's not gonna be a composite 4-star soon. He's gonna be a full-fledged 4-star soon. Trust me. Go if you got Huddle, if you can get the Huddle, go to Huddle and type in Tracarion Collins, TRA apostrophe KERRION Collins. And go check him out, man. I'm telling you, he gonna be he that deal. He that deal, man. We appreciate y'all as always, man. As always, before we get up out of here, man, y'all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. Y'all be blessed, man. As always, make sure y'all give the man upstairs above his, because he deserves all the praise and all the glory, man. We appreciate y'all so much. And until Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, back around the water cooler. It is always one love, ladies and gentlemen. Guess what? We out this mug. Aha! Peace, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good
Boys
weekend.
and girls of all ages, you're tuned into the Water Cooler Talk podcast, the biggest podcast in the world. Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Water Cooler Talks with your hosts, Nick Frazier and Marcus Fitzpatrick. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.